Hello everyone and welcome to SharpGrad, where we help you make wiser and smarter study abroad decisions. So today I am at this beautiful campus of the University of Warwick's Business School, and I have two members of the SharpGrad community with me, Akash and Ravi, who are currently pursuing their MiM, the Masters in Management at the WBS, at the prestigious WBS, we must call that. But how prestigious it is, and what are some of the nuances, what are some of the things that if you are someone who is considering to come to this particular school, what you should keep in mind, let's have a candid discussion on that. First of all, how are you, Akash?
I'm doing good, Harit sir. How are you doing?
All good, perfectly fine. You do not have to call me sir, just Harit is enough. And Ravi, how are you?
I'm fine, Harit. Thanks for asking. How are you? How are you doing?
All
How is
good.
UK for you?
It has been cold, but yeah, all good, all well. So far so good. Meeting you guys has been an absolute privilege, and it has been so fun. Like, I mean, I'm just loving it since the time I'm here, right? Okay, chalo, great. So let us start with the discussion now. So first of all, let me ask you guys this question: what brought you to WBS?
I think the very first thing what I feel about WBS is the rankings. Earlier, when I just completed my undergrad back from India, I don't have any plan to pursue my masters from any of the colleges from abroad because what I have mentioned earlier also from you that I was preparing for my CAT exam back from India, and there I just end up scoring 92 percentile. But
Oh, nice.
getting 92 percentile don't land you in a very prestigious MBA colleges back in India. And from there, I just found myself. Many of my friends were there here at WBS, and they just suggested me to just fill the application. And to be honest, it sounds very weird that Warwick has just waived the application fee for me,
Lovely.
and that's the also a very big reason for me why I've just filled the application for WBS, and now here I am because of the rankings I get.
Awesome. And what about you, Akash?
Well, after my undergrad that I did, I was in a state wherein I was thinking what exactly I can be doing next. I had in mind that I'll be pursuing an MBA, but then I realized that MBA calls for work experience and everything, without which you cannot be getting into a good MBA program. So while I was working somewhere, I was working in international logistics at that point. I was just considering what best can I be doing now. And at that point, I was just going through things, and then my friends who were already pursuing the masters, they were telling me about their experience about how a master goes on, and then that diverted me towards wanting to do masters, so that'll give me a catapult my experience. So then I came across WBS, I came across its rankings, I came across the review that people have had on WBS and the alumni and the places that they have been able to do. So I then felt WBS is a good option. And then of course I met you and you told me more about the college and more about a lot of things. So that way when I researched about it, I thought it was one of the best things that I could be doing back then.
Perfect. Awesome. So I'm sure that if you're someone who is watching this video, you are considering an MIM, or maybe you were considering an MBA and now you know that, okay, for an MBA you need a lot of experience, and now you're considering an MIM because of that. So let's talk about the program now, right? MIM is a program. So it is a one-year master's degree that you guys are in, right? What has been the course load like that? Or if I ask you, what modules have you studied till the second term, because you guys are yet to start with your third term, right? Till the second term, what modules have you studied so far?
So basically, if I have to speak about my curriculum, we can divide it mainly into two groups. One is the core modules that everyone has to learn, and then comes your electives. And your electives, especially the management program, has been designed in a way wherein we have two basic pathways towards it. One is the consulting pathway, one is the entrepreneurship pathway. And the core modules are more like we've had a subject that's strategies for global economy, wherein we speak about the strategies that big companies which actually make a difference in this world employ in their own organization to make or steer towards positive change. And we've had subjects like performance module of the firm and many such subjects that gives us an overall understanding about how exactly a good manager is supposed to be and the basic ideologies that we need to have for someone who's wanting to get into one of these two pathways. And from term 2 onwards, our specialization broadens. Those who wish to get into consulting, get into consulting. Those who have a family business back in India, what they tend to do is they end up choosing the entrepreneurial pathway, and through which they get back to their family business back in India. So this has been ultimately how you can categorize it. So far it's been good.
Okay, awesome. So I want to ask you guys one thing now. So I'm sure that when you guys were considering the higher education abroad in the UK or anywhere else, right? We have this complaint in India that बड़ी theoretical सी पढ़ाई होती है ना, that in India everything is taught in a very theoretical way. यार मुझे तो practical knowledge चाहिए. That is why I am taking a 50 lakhs ka loan, right? So how different was how you were taught back in India and you are being taught here?
You answer it first? Yeah. So wow, it's a very interesting question, Harit. What you have asked that back in India, what I have expected from Warwick or what's the exactly curriculum, what I found over here, it's completely different. What I earlier have experienced back from my undergrad college back in India.
Hmm.
I have pursued my bachelor's in business administration and now I'm pursuing my master's in management. So the curriculum over here is completely theoretical. You don't have any exam across your entire course. Although we have almost two exams, one for the customer value management back in the term one, and one for the DDM, that is the decision data driven decision making. So we have only two exams, and in term two and term three we don't have any exams. Over here it's completely assignment based studies. You have to complete the assignments, you have to do the group projects, and I think it's the best way how you can just approach for those kind of subjects, because it's completely practical. The best way what I found over here and what I feel is that more you just leverage your studies, more you just found people, just get interact with people, the best way of this is the best way of learning. So this is completely different. This is not the culture back in India, because many of my friends who already pursued their MBA back from India from very good colleges, I have shared with them what my experience over here is, and they were like, just it's amazing. But this is completely different from India, and this is very nice.
Okay, nice. So assignments, right? Because I also did my MBA from Canada itself. So what I feel is that the assignments you actually learn while doing, right? So although they are broken down into very micro pieces, like a module having a very sub module, having a very small component on which you are working on, but while working on that assignment, you learn a lot, right? So has that been something that you guys have felt, or like you found the assignments to be irrelevant? And you have to be honest here.
Well, actually, one thing I was told that while I'm doing a master's over here, it is going to be very different than how it is in India, because in India we have basically thought as to what the subject is all about and stuff. But over here, it's more of a discussion. When the professor walks in, he discusses on the topic, he says, and he gives you, he brainstorms you basically. He gives you ideas that you can go home and brainstorm more. And then we've had something like, we've had to do some pre-work before the classes, based on which the class is held. And in there, they tell us how exactly this needs to be thought upon, from which direction you need to think of this, what aspects are involved within this one subject area, and then from then on you go on to apply those strategies and the things that you've learned in the class into different domains of your life. So this is one thing that I've realized, that the more you are involved as a student, even before the class starts, you get done with the pre-work that you're supposed to do, the more beneficial you'll find the classes to be. Which is why I feel that different students in my own class will have different opinions on the teacher, on that class, as to how good and all it is. But it all comes down to how keen and willing you are
To learn.
towards it, and how deeply you want to put yourself in there, just so that you can get the most of the subject.
Got it. And I was having a discussion with Ravi over the morning coffee that the course load is like 3 to 4 days a week, right? Like you have classes
that's
3 to
right.
4 days a week.
That's right.
Okay, cool. Sounds good. Perfect. All right. So now I believe that one of the most important aspects to talk about is beyond the academics as well, right? Because I am sure that we all are not coming here just to study. We all have the objective of getting a good job, and some of us also have the objectives of getting part-time jobs so that we can support ourselves, right? So I'm going to talk about that angle now. I know that when we are talking about that angle, there's that piece of anxiety that we feel inside, right? As a dil mein dak dak ho le raha hai, right? That thing happens when we start talking about jobs. So okay, so let's start talking about them now. Okay, so I'm sure that a lot of people opt for MIM because they want to get into consulting, right? That consulting is basically the dream career for pretty much most of the people who are doing an MIM. Is it the same for you guys as well, all of you?
Well, yes, I honestly have come here only because it is driving my way towards consulting. And speaking of jobs and everything, one thing I would say is, while that was the reason that I enrolled myself in this course, thinking that consulting is where this is going to take me. And as much as that is fancy and it sounds possible, at the end of the day, it's something that I've realized to be not very realistic after coming here. That is because you know that you need to get into consulting, and you know this is the gateway to get there, and no doubt that it is. But when you come in here, when you have a look at the job opportunities over here, the number of roles available and the number of people who are wanting to get into consulting right from your own very class, you'll understand that, okay, the competition is vast, the competition is a lot, and in between that, the job roles are very limited. So you will have to end up reconsidering all your choices, your career choices, your decisions and everything. You'll have to become more open as a person towards all different stratas, because the job market is something that's being questioned right now for a lot of factors, and that is right. because of which everyone who comes here, even though I want to get into consulting, right now at the top of my head, it's just that I hope I land a job that sponsors me or gets me to a point from where I will be stable enough to then think of getting into consulting. Because it's rather very difficult to hop into consulting right away.
Right, that's
This is
very right.
something that I would like to say.
Perfect. What about you, Ravi?
Exactly. I think I feel the same because getting a job over here is although a very difficult task in nowadays, to be honest. And if you are just making yourself very particular that you just only want to land a job in particular in consulting, more specifically into management or strategy or finance consulting. So I think it's very difficult until unless you have a very strong profile or you don't have any work ex that you have what you did back from your home country. If you haven't have any work experience in consulting, then it's very difficult to land a job at the very starting stage when you just graduated from Warwick or from any different colleges. Like I have friends from Imperial, LBS, Oxford, Cambridge, all said me the same thing that bro, if you want a job in consulting, so just start with a boutique consulting firms or from the very
Smaller
small
consulting
consulting firms, because if you want to land a job directly into McKinsey, it's next to impossible. The
Yeah,
job
of
market
course.
over here is very difficult. It's very
Because these
competitive.
firms don't hire a lot of people, right? Because everyone who's doing an MBA, MIM, Masters in Business Analytics, Strategy, everyone wants to get into consulting, right? And the consulting firms, especially in this economy, they generally don't hire a lot of people. And particularly in this economy, they're not hiring a lot of people, right? Okay.
That's right.
All right. So let's talk about the job market now, right? So I know
He's
that.
handing me over the mic.
I think he's the best person to answer this question.
Okay. So as far as the job market is concerned, it is bad. And it's not just bad in the UK, it's, to be honest, it's bad everywhere, because I have students who are studying across the globe, and I have friends who are living in US, Canada, UK, everywhere. When I talk about in India as well, right? If we talk about entry level positions, the job market is very bad. That's for sure, right? But how confident do both of you feel that with the Warwick's brand, with the skills that you have acquired here, and overall it's not just about the degree and the university, you also evolve as an individual, right?
That's right.
So how confident are you two that I will land a job? Might not be in consulting, but I will land a good job.
Well, this answer has had its own phases, if I have to say. It's been 5 to 6 months now since I've come here, and the person
सुबह
I was
confident दोपहर को not confident
Confident.
रात को
it happens.
Rather depressed.
It happens. You go through so many phases within yourself when you're over here, because you meet so many different kind of people and reality hits you. Because you come with a certain level of expectation when you come in. Because when I came to UK, I thought few years down the line I'm going to be a consultant working for this company, and here I'm going to be, there I'm going to be.
Yeah.
And that's the ideology we all have, and it's not wrong to have an ideology like that, but it so happens that reality hits. And when reality hits, you do understand that, okay, this was what was the expected version that I had. This is what the real version is. And for you to understand that, it takes some amount of time.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people around you are as confused as you are, but they all are seeking clarity as much as you are. So you'll hear a lot of different versions of the truth. Some will say, oh, you know what, it's too easy. Some will say it's just a numbers game. You need to apply. The more you apply, the more chances you have. All of them is partly right, partly not, depending on who's saying what. But then what I have ultimately understood is that you need to have an open mind after coming here, because you can come with all the expectations you want, you can have a dream, you can have a goal, but given the job scenario, given the current state of where it's completely there, where it is in its entirety, it's rather difficult to have a choice. In fact, it comes down to a point wherein I know that, okay, when I came here, I thought consulting job is for sure gonna happen to me, but now I was in a phase wherein I thought, will I even get a job in the first place? But then looking at what WBS is giving me, looking at what I'm learning from here, the edge that it offers to me over other candidates who are not from WBS necessarily, I feel that this definitely has an edge. And somehow or the other, it'll get me closer to that consulting job role of mine that I'm dream of. But then I'll have to go through different jobs to get to that point, I feel.
Yeah, that's right. And
So, yes,
eventually,
yeah.
if it happens, great. If it doesn't happen, great. Like
Yes,
something that I've been
exactly.
talking about. Yeah.
And after coming here, I've realized that why should I limit my own self by thinking this is exactly what is supposed to be happening to me? Because after coming here, I've grown as a person. I've lived alone for the very first time away from home, and that has shaped me into a person who I now feel is someone who can dream with his eyes open without having a clear goal as to I know what direction I'm walking towards. I'm not keen on the destination. I was keen on the destination when I arrived here 5 months back, but in 5 months I've lost track of a specific destination. I only need to focus on my sense of direction now.
Yeah.
Am I heading in the right direction? That's all about it.
Like now, I'm gonna give you both a piece of advice here. So, something that I've been I think we have had multiple conversations since yesterday about it, right? And all of you who are coming in the future as well. See, guys, it was never easy to find a job. Even 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 20 years ago, no matter which country, right? US, UK, Canada, Ireland, you can hop from one country to another. You can hop from one timeline to another timeline. You can hop from one university to another. It has always been very hard to find jobs, right? It always boils down to just one thing. It's a numbers game, and it's a qualitative numbers game.
Sure.
As simple as that, right? So I was just doing an experiment with Ravi in the morning. So what we did was we just like went on Indeed. We looked for a particular job role, and we saw that okay, how many postings have come up in the last 24 hours. So just for that particular job role, there were 600 postings in the last 24 hours across the UK. Now I know that of course not possible to apply to all the 600. Of course not possible that our profile is relevant to all the 600. But I'm sure that we can find 15, 20, 25 postings every single day that we can tailor the resume for and just apply to. Right? And this is exactly what you have to do.
Right.
Exactly what you have to do, right? Just sit every day, 20, 25, 30 job postings, especially now since you guys are entering the third term. That is how you find a job, right? And most importantly, referrals. Like, I think we've talked about it so many times. One of the reasons why I've come to this place and why you have paid, like in the city of Coventry itself, there are two major universities, Coventry University and the University of Warwick, right? The difference in the tuition fee, the difference in everything is, I think, double or a little more than double, right?
Yes.
More than double.
Yeah, the reason why you guys have come here is that, oh, you can connect with better people. You can connect with better individuals, right? So, and I'm sure that you might have met a lot of smart people in your cohort. Right, not average people, very smart people. Of course, not everyone will be smart, but yeah, you must have met a lot of people, and you must have met more people in the last 6 months as compared to in the last 22 years of your lifespan.
That's right.
Right, more people in the last 6 months as compared to that, which is quite evolving in the sense that it opens up your perspective towards a lot of things, right? That there are so many opportunities. Oh, that this is also a path. That is also a path when you meet people from different routes. Okay, cool. So now I want to ask a question. So MIM as a program, if given a chance, and you have to be honest here, would you pursue the same program or would you want to opt for a different one?
Well, we both will answer this question. First, I'll give my take on it, and then Ravi will speak about it. So, what I feel is MIM as a course has been something that I had expected a little more. I had expected a little more from MIM, but then after coming here, what I felt is the cohort of mine. I thought I'll have more foreign exposure, but this batch in specific, we are a strength of how many? Around 350 people?
Almost 300 people.
Yeah,
Hmm.
300 to
Almost
350 people,
300.
and among them, what percentage of Indian people?
I think 85%, more than
Hmm.
85%.
Yes, more than 85% of our cohort is of basically is mainly Indians.
Desi.
Basically, okay,
Mostly
hum log
Asians,
hain.
yeah.
Okay.
So it's like the fact that I came to UK, I was of the opinion that I'll meet people of different races, different culture, different backgrounds, so that I can evolve as a person meeting them. But seeing so many Indians, I feel like I'm studying in either Mumbai or Delhi, to be honest, except for the weather. That's the only difference that I find. But speaking of the course now, yeah, smart people, yes, I do agree there are smart people, but then a lot of people in my course, I would say they come from a background wherein they have a family business, so they take on what they need to be doing with their life. Most of the people over here, I feel, without taking any names, of course, most of the people over here are on a vacation period. Like they know they're going to go back home, they're gonna take over the dad's business or mom's business or whatever they have in store. But that is one thing that I feel is something that I was a little bit disappointed by. But coming back to the curriculum of what WBS offers, so that was something which was very varied. So we have had subjects ranging from finance to strategies in global economy, and then current issues in leadership, consulting, and stuff. But then I feel that at times you feel it's too mundane. There is nothing much you're learning from it. But then it also comes down to, this was the impression I initially had of it. But then it again depends on how deeply you are involving yourself in the subject, and are you going beyond that point of learning that you know already when it comes to that specific subject. So that's a neutral answer I would give there. How's the course? But I feel if I were to give myself advice again, like 6 months back, if I could go and tell myself to what exactly needs to be done, I would then not take MIM, because I would take something else, more of a niche.
More specific.
More specific. Because that way I know that this specific domain is something I've mastered myself in. Over here it's rather to non-specified, as in jack of all kind of a scenario. That has its benefits though, because it leaves a lot of domains open for you, and there are people who are like very well placed after doing their MIM in the past few years. If you notice, I know of people who have landed a 45 plus job over here,
Great salaries, yeah.
great salaries and everything. I've done MIM, but it's more like they had a goal maybe or they didn't. I'm neutral towards it as to what the course is about, but I would not take MIM again if I were given a
Okay,
choice.
perfect. No, that's very important. What about you, Ravi?
I think yeah, same. Karan has just answered this question in a very beautiful manner. What I feel, Harit, also the same, because as I come from a business management background, I did my bachelor's back from India in business management. So I think MIM is all not worth it for me, to be honest, because the course is very generic, and if you speak about the recruiters over here, they were looking for more specific kind of degree from you, especially if you you need a visa sponsorship and some kind of visa restrictions that you have because you are an international student who came here for your masters and want a job over here. Most of the crowd over here in my MIM, what I feel and I observed is that they have a family business, and they were just like they came here for their masters and they just want to return back as soon as their just course gets completed. Yeah. So I think if someone just has a business management background or any kind of economics background or a management degree back from India, so I think MIM is not the course for them.
Perfect. So you would recommend something more specific, like marketing, business analytics,
strategy,
finance.
Business with finance. In fact, most of my friends are from MSc Finance. MSc Finance is the brilliant course. I think if someone wants to make his career into core finance, into investment banking, then MSc Finance is the course, which is
Great advice. Great advice. And like something that I recommend as well, that it's always better to do this homework and identify a particular niche that you want to get in. Accounting, brilliant. If you're getting into accounting and you do ACCA with that, brilliant. Finance, if you can like figure out your CFA with that. Marketing, if you can just let your creative juices flow and you can market yourself into the job market to get a job in marketing, it's great. Sales and business development, right? Then you have not a course in sales and business development, although after MIM you guys are very well suited for those roles, right? So keep in mind. But beyond sales and business development, you also have supply chain management, right? That's also a brilliant career track to be in. But you're specializing into something, it's great. Now if you're someone who's considering an MIM, right, as well, one, try to figure out if you can find a specialized domain. Two, if not, then with the MIM, specialize into something. Same goes to you too, right? You still have 6 months before the course finishes. Pick up something and just go deeper into it. I'm sure that, one thing that I'm very sure is that the professors, the ecosystem here is going to be something that will enable you guys to do that, right? The kind of resources that you have access to, you won't have this after 6 months, right? So leverage this as much as you can, like get in touch with your professors. If you want to get into marketing itself, sit with the marketing professor, right? Ask them that, okay, how can I get my first role? What are some of the certifications that I can get? What are some of the skills that I can learn? And just deploy all of them. I think so. If like even after hearing this, you still want to do an MIM, you better have at least something in your mind. That do not just come blindly with that oh, MIM then consulting.
And I would like to add a point here, saying that to all the people who are wanting to do their masters in future, I do understand that being from India, we come from a mindset wherein we feel that let me take this because I feel this is a very neutral pathway to be on.
बहुत options खोल लूँगा.
From here on, I'll have so many other options that I can then get into. So let me just do this for now. It's something we all do during our undergrad, especially. We feel that ye kar lete hain pehle, and then we'll decide what needs to be done after this, because we can buy ourselves some time and stuff. But one thing I'd like to tell you all is this is a big step that you're taking, because it's an investment of your time, an investment of your money, and investment of a lot of other things that you're putting into it. So when you're spending that amount of time and money and you're moving from another country over here, living all by yourself and doing something, you might as well know what you're coming here for, because at least after coming here, you will come to a point wherein you will start to reconsider your choices. You will question your own dreams and aspirations because of the job market and everything. So you might as well do this before you come in.
Breakfast motivation, lunch depression.
Dinner tak burnout.
Yeah, it comes down to that.
Yeah.
Just spend some more time if required. Take some time really to research very deeply as to why exactly you're coming here and what pathways these are going to lead you to, and then take an informed decision is what I would say. But still, that's not gonna fail from surprising you. You'll still be surprised after coming here, but at least you'll be a little less surprised.
Yeah, you still have a plan, right?
I just want to.
And like about planning, I want to mention one thing here. See, guys, be ready to pivot. and even if you have to pivot every week, it's okay. Even if you have to pivot every day, that's okay, right? It's absolutely okay. Like if you came here thinking that, oh, X will lead to Y, it's okay. You've come here for X, now it might lead you to A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. Doesn't matter, right? But just be ready to pivot.
Exactly what I feel, Harit, also, and what I also mentioned you back from India when I'm just applying through you that, I just want to make my career into core management consulting, because management consulting looks very fancy from outside of the door. And, but this is also one reason why I choose Warwick, because Warwick has an optional module of intro to consulting or a
Yeah.
consulting pathway. So what I feel that if I choose that pathway, and it helps me to land a job directly into consulting, although I don't have any background into consulting, I worked in sales. So, but what I would suggest that, at the end of the day, you just have to broaden up your horizon, because you have to take care that what debt you have back in your in you have. So you have to pay your loan, also repay your loan, and at the end of the day, the ROI, the return on investment, what you get from your masters. So I think you have to broaden up your horizon. You can't make yourself restrict that I just only want a job in consulting. No, it will not gonna work for you.
Well,
Sure.
you'll be surprised when they come here. I mean, you will have to broaden your horizons, because even I never really thought I would have to, because I was so keen that, okay, a person like me, if I really put in all the effort, I can get into consulting. As much as it's true, it's not that easy to get in, because the supply-demand ratio is kind of not balanced at this minute.
Yeah.
Because of which you need to definitely be able to pivot left and right based on how you feel it's to be done at that point of time.
Right.
Because everyone is chasing for consulting. Everyone wants to enter into consulting.
So in just my class of 300 people, almost 90% of them want to get into consulting.
And I don't think that BCG McKinsey are going to hire even 300 people this year, right, in the UK. So yeah. So be open. That's the point, right?
You have to broaden up your horizon. Yeah.
Chalo, great. Now let's move on to the final segment, which is known as the Besharmi segment. So, which is that. So, how has been your experience with SharpGrad so far?
My experience with SharpGrad has been really good. I remember my first conversation with Harit sir was 1 year ago around this time. Yeah, rather late for someone who was wanting to do their masters, but it so happened that I approached him in the month of March after a very different phase of my life. I was so confused, and he was one of the many people I met. And the other consultants I met, within half an hour they sent me a list of curated universities that was already there with them on an Excel sheet, and they told me, choose whichever you want, we'll sort it out for you and you will get into the university. But then I remember my meeting with Harit sir, it was on a Wednesday afternoon, if I'm not wrong. So we had a meeting, and then the first question Harit sir asked me was, tell me about yourself. So I told him, this has been my past, this is where I am now, and this is how I see myself in future. And he was patient enough to understand me as a person, because I was confused at that point, and I wanted someone who could understand me. Only because when someone could understand me, would they be able to take me out of the confusion I was in. So he understood me very well, and then he told me, okay, what,
मैं पैसे नहीं दे रहा आकाश.
That's totally on. So उन्होंने फिर gauge किया, and then he told me, like, this is what I think you need to be doing. And he also broadened my horizon at that point, and he said, okay, these are the universities I feel are a good fit for you. Especially WBS was among the most top-notch universities that I could apply to at that point. So he made sure my applications were set, and before I knew it, I got in, and here I'm sitting in front of you guys today.
Good to know that.
With SharpGrad.
How about you, Ravi?
I think same experiences for me also, because back from India I did my application with SIUK, and Harit is not my consultant. Karan has a different experience, but I just met Harit with one of the online sessions that is going on, because at that time I was just preparing for my IELTS exam, and there is a session going on that you were just discussing with some of the students that if someone is just planning to move to abroad, especially UK, then is it worth it at the end of the day just to come to UK? So I've just enrolled myself on that kind of course, or that kind of lecture what you have on that day, and I just met you on that day. You helped me a lot. I think Harit is the person because of whom I am sitting over here and living my dreams, to be honest, and he's a gem. Harit is a gem.
तेरे को भी नहीं दे रहा पैसे.
चाहिए भी नहीं.
Pound चाहिए.
Job लगवा दो. And I'm pretty sure, because Harit has suggested me, just don't target consulting anymore. I don't know what he observed me, what he sees into me. He just suggested me just target for the sales role, and from
Just be open, basically, like just the advice that
this interview I'm gonna kill the applications.
Good to know that.
But one thing again about SharpGrad, if you ask me, I would say it started off as Harit sir. Even in the interview, you might have seen me call him Harit sir, and he was like, call me Harit, it's fine. But such बताऊं तो off camera I call him Harit Bhaiya. Because in this 1 year of knowing him, it started off as Harit sir, and now it has come to a point of me calling him Harit Bhaiya. because he has helped me in not just my applications. Even after coming here, there were so many
True.
instances wherein I felt like I was lost. I told you that this happens in phases to you when you come here. A lot of things happen. You start seeing reality for what it is, and then like almost every student, even I was confused. Even I was kind of scared at one point. I called him, Harit, Bhaiya, I don't know what to do. This is happening. That's not happening. He was like, it's all right. Things happen the way it's meant to. So he was there with me all throughout this journey. So Harit Bhaiya it is.
Thank you so much, Akash.
And I think for me also the same exactly. You know, no, it's not for the application that most of the consultants back in India, they just help you out in your application, then your visa process, you know, and it's all ended over there. But you know what I feel the best about Harit is that he's not a consultant, he's a bada bhai of mine. So I
Bade
think
bhaiya.
that's the best thing, because इनकी वजह से आज मैं यहाँ पे बैठा हूँ, and I think
Same.
he helped me in each and every step. Today also, if I found something difficult, like this is not what I am getting, or you know, just you can just review my CV. He always ready to help me out. I think he's a gem. That's what I mentioned. He's a gem.
So thank you so much. First of all, like I want to mention one thing. It's not possible for any human being, including myself, to be able to, help everyone. It's because you guys are brilliant. Because you guys are really sweet, and you guys are so good that of course I am able to. I always try to be available whenever you both have anything. And yeah. So okay, thank you so much, guys. This is all about the Warwick Business School's MIM program. And if you're someone who is looking forward to applying to Warwick or confused about where you want to apply, what would be the right program for you, what would be the right approach to take, then there's a link in the description box. Book the consultation. Let's meet. Thank you so much for watching the video till now. Thank you and have a lovely day ahead.
Have a lovely day, guys.
And one more thing, I just want to add that just book a consultation call with Harit, and you will gonna. It's worth it. It's worth it. What I feel, it's worth it. Totally worth it.
Thank you so much.
That's
Thank
about
you.
SharpGrad, and about master's life. Be comfortable with becoming uncomfortable.
Oh,
That's-
nice.
And speak everything what you feel, and any doubt of yours regarding to your anything about your career, about your CV, about your applications, the visa, the IELTS. He's a
He'll take
family
care of
pack.
everything.
He's a family pack. He's a family pack.
And your master's life is simple. Be comfortable in becoming uncomfortable. That's all.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Bye bye, guys. Take care. Bye.